Hello YouTube, it is Leslie from Lola Bow and we are back for another tutorial. So I've been pondering over which stone to wrap for this one, and I've kind of picked out this really cool, quite funky, quite different Marcasite. Obviously we've got the sort of like the more metallic-y side of Marcasite down on one side, and then all of this lovely sort of almost orbicular detail on the top. But what we're going to do today is allowing the sort of flow of the wrap to evolve organically with the flow of the stones. So we may want to avoid putting lots of swells in because we've got this sort of patterning here. We've also got, if you can see, like a little small, almost like druzy here. It's tiny, but it's there. It's got a little bit of a sparkle to it, which is nice. And then obviously we've got this sort of metallic detailing down the bottom. It's not a massively thick stone, but it is a nice stone to wrap. Now, if you are new to wire wrapping, then it's always really, really good to have a stone shape and cut that you like working with. So I found the other day a couple of sort of really old wraps that I did when I first started wire wrapping, and I was using almost like tumble stones. So they were obscure shapes, they were big and clunky, they were random, you know, they weren't of a particular shape. So it's always nice to have that shape that you know you like working with, and then kind of building your confidence with that rather than just trying to wrap everything like I did. Although I must admit, wrapping everything did teach me quite a lot. But yeah, we want to try and keep things simple whilst we're learning different techniques. So we're going to start off with obviously cutting some wire. I'm going to use 20 gauge square copper. This is soft, so it's really, really nice to shape. This particular wire is from Metal Clays for You. I get quite a bit of wire from them actually, certainly my square wire, because it is so nice to work with. The problem is that I end up working with it more than I probably should. So let's have a look. Yeah, we'll go for 4 wires. So this again is one of the reasons I don't like having a design, because it just allows me to use kind of creative freedom, and obviously just allow the pendant to take form in whatever way the stone wants it to. So I work with stones intuitively, so to wrap intuitively seems like the right thing to do. Now I'm going to use half round wire again. This is from Metal Clays for You, but this is quite a thick half round. So this is 18 gauge. Normally I use this thinner one from Rio Grande, but I'm just playing with this today and kind of feel like this one will look quite nice. So I'm just going to start by connecting all of these wires together. Now, if you've watched any of my tutorials, you'll know that I start a lot of my pendants like this. Sometimes I add a little bit more detail, but typically I just go in for this really nice simple wrap at the bottom. It's the bottom of the pendant. It doesn't need to have all of the detail down there, although you can change it up if you want to. So with this slightly thicker half round wire, it's still soft, but it's not as soft as the thinner wire. So you just have to have a little bit of a pull on it to get it to come round and shape where you want it to. I'm only going to use this one at the bottom, not at the top. It just gives well, I might use it at the top. We'll see how we feel when we get there. Okay, so we're just going to give that all a bit of a squish. And you'll see it gives you a bit more of a chunky detail. So in comparison to, say, this one, you can see that it's a bit thinner. So where are we going? We're going to shape it. Now, intuition tells me I really like this stone both ways up, and this is going to catch me out. I think if I go that way, because this is the more obscurely unique detailing, and this is where we've also got, let me see if I can catch this so you can see this detail here. There is a little bit of glittery sparkliness to it. I think I'm going to go point down. I've made quite a few pendants this morning, and so far most of them have been point up. So let's change it, let's do a point down. So we're just going to shape the wires. Just get everything sitting around the edge of that stone nicely. And then we're going to just create that ledge. So we're going to kick in and kick in. Just let that pendant sit. So this stone's even got sort of nice markings on the back, so it'd be, I'm not going to be able to really, I might be able to do it, but it would be nice if we could try and get the front and back to kind of match. Oops. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my little mat. So this is a really nice way of trying to create symmetry through your pendant. I don't always do this, but sometimes I just get the urge to pull it out and have a go. So what I want is the bottom point to be level, and I'm just going to put like a little pen mark where the wires cross. Bring the stone away, line up, look for that little line so you can see it's kind of there. I'm going to bend them out. I'm going to do the same on this side, find that line and bend them out. And then not bend the wire around my finger, that would probably be a good idea. So bring that back in. Oops. Let's just straighten that out. Just silly move. Right, so that's kinked. So let's just try and straighten that a bit. We are going to hide that with the, there we go. Okay, so you can see if I lay that down on there, the wires meet up in line. What I'm going to do, because this wire, so here's a tip. If you ever get this kind of bend happen in a bit of wire, grab your straight nose, not straight nose, sorry, your nylon nose pliers, nylon jaw pliers, pinch and drag, and what it will do is it will almost iron out that sort of kink in your wire, which allows you to start a bit of a fresh line, take away that untidy looking edge. Okay, so still there a little bit, but we'll live with it. Okay, so we've got that line up. And it is central, but it just doesn't look central. This is why I don't like to rely on this, because sometimes it just does mess with your eyes a little bit, but we'll keep going. We'll keep going. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to make this YouTube channel, because more often than not you watch tutorials, and I've done it. I've sat on YouTube for hours watching tutorials, and every move that the artist makes is perfect, and it doesn't always happen like that. You know, it's not always that straightforward. I've been doing this, I don't know how long now, 10 years, and I still make an absolute mess of it sometimes. So with this channel, I hope not to edit out those kind of oh my god moments, because we all learn from mistakes. So if you can learn from mine, great. Anyway, I'm waffling on about now. So let's just get this bale started. Sometimes I just get halfway through a pendant and go, that's not working, and I just stop. There's no point forcing things to carry on when literally they are not working at all. Okay, so we're just going to take this back wire. I'm just going to grab it around this back base wire. So you see this one that runs up, grab it around and up, and again, and it just stops that bale from unraveling as you are making. So just going to trim the end off of there. And then just smush that wire in and tidy it all up there. Okay, so we can move on to tidying up this for a second. Let's go one more wrap. There we go. I'm just going to smush all of that in. And then I'm going to grab this Marcasite, pop it in, make sure it's all set firm. And then I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do like a whoop. So we've got a top kick and a bottom kick. This allows us to see all of this bit down here, and it's not impeding this little druzy section that we've got here, which I would like to keep visible. Okay, so we're going to do bale. Two wires to the front, and we're going to go right, 1, 2, 3, bring that around, and we'll go 1, 2, 3 that way. Okay, so now we're going to grab our half round wire. Let me just zoom out so you can see. So what I do here is I'm not working off the reel. I've cut the wire and I just hold it between my thumb and my finger, and then press it into the bale wires, and then use my other hand to turn the pendant. Not too fast, because we want to make sure that the wire doesn't twist, and we want to make sure that we keep the flat edge down So whenever I'm doing this bit, I try not to rush, because that's when you're going to end up with twists in the wire, and that can just make the whole thing look a little bit messy, shall we say. And we're just going to keep going nice and gently until we've got just over maybe an inch of wrapped wire, and then we're going to stop. I'm going to grab our flat nose pliers and we're just going to flatten all the way up to the top of this one. And then we're ready to shape the bale. So we want to keep this bit I feel like kinking that one. So we're going to get our bale making pliers, nice and loose grip, bend that wire over, line it up, pull it into shape. We've got a lovely. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these up, and I'm going to carry on wrapping that half round around these two back bale wires, along with the neck of the bale itself. And this is exactly what I was trying to talk about. So when this twists, it doesn't always show up easily, and it's really frustrating because once it twists, it wants to keep twisting. So my go-to tends to be hold it with my pliers, pull it around, and then carry on with the wrap until we reach that point where we've got enough. And then same here, I'm just going to take this tail end of the half round wire and I'm just going to wrap it around here again. So we go just 2 or 3 wraps, just secure everything. 2 and 3. And then we just bring it round, trim it off, and then push that little end around, give it a smush. Now these 2 wires I'm going to pull to the front. I'm going to trim them short. And then I'm going to tuck them round on these upright frame wires, same on this side. Because they are excess and we don't need them for decorating. All we want to just make sure is that there's no ends that are coming close to the back of the pendant here, because obviously that's going to be close to the skin of the wearer. Okay, right, so we've got some short little decoration wires. So what I'm going to do, if you've got one of these or if you've seen these on Amazon, great little tool. Pop the end of your wire, so the end of it is crossed. Pop the end in your end of the wire there, and we twist. So you can twist square wire, which just gives it this really nice, nice little texture. And then we're going to just pull that forward. So once you've twisted it, it becomes a little bit more stiff. So just bear that in mind. If you're going to do a big design on it, you don't want to overwork the wire. Okay, so we're going to come round a bit of a semicircle, and we're going to keep going, and we're going to go around here. So we've got a bit of a loop. We're going to bring the straight wire, or well, untwisted wire around. It's going to come around the back and just follow. See how it's following that line. So we've got the little loop, and then we're just going to bring these around. Now I want to tuck these up quite high around here, because the keen of eye of you have noticed that that was the back of the pendant. And as I said, it would be really nice if we could use the front and the back of the pendant to be seen. That's a little bit too much still on there. So I'm just going to pull this round, squish it in, pull this round and squish it in. So what you've got this little swell on the back of the pendant. Okay, what we're going to do at the front is going to almost mirror that. So we're going to get our little twizzle stick, do the same again on this side. Oh, if we can get the end of the wire in there. Come on, you silly bugger. That's it. So we're going to do the same again. So we're just going to pull it forward. We're going to go around the front into like a little semicircle, and then keep going. Now I find with swells, if you hold towards, the further away from the swell you hold, the better your swell will be. So I hold the wire here and just kind of guide it with my thumb as it comes around. I'm then going to take the untwisted wire exactly the same as we did on the back. I'm going to come round, and again I'm holding towards the end of the wire and just allowing those wires to flow. So now we've got the front and the back are almost mimicking each other now, and we've got a wire, albeit quite a short wire, on each side to play with a little bit. Now what I think I might do here is I might because we've got these orbicular bits here, my gut is telling me that I want to bring this, let's bring it to here. If it doesn't work, we can cut it back and reshape it. So what I'm doing is I'm actually holding the wire next to the point on that so it doesn't stick to it, and then pull it into a weird little shape, because you might find that the wire sticks there and just traps itself. And then what I'm going to do is this wire is just going to come around here, and I'm just going to snip it. I'm just going to try and tuck it in as close to that stone as I can. Perfect. And then this one is pretty much where I want it to be, I think. And then I'm just going to do the same with this one. Snip it. Pinch it in and secure it. So what you've got is where I'm doing the connections of these wires, you can't see the ends behind these wires. So that's what we're trying to achieve, is we're trying to hide all of the little ends. Now the question remains, what do we do with this one? So this is the back of the pendant. I'm trying not to misshape the bale. So I'm going to take this little short wire, I'm going to come around, I'm just going to scoop it underneath. That's it, simple as that. Less is more. You can see all the wires are still sitting nicely around the edge. And then on this one, we're going to come around, scoop it around the edge, and you can fasten in next to that stone, next to that wire there. And then squish. So you can see no ends. So what you've got is a lot of fingerprints. So I'm just going to get my little cloth and clean that off, make it all shiny. Okay, so what we've got is the front of the stone, which has obviously got the domed effect. We've got this little extra swell. Then we've got the back, which you could, if it flips around whilst you're wearing it, it's not going to matter because it's got a detail on the back as well, and the stone is just as pretty. So allowing the stone, or allowing the design to evolve and, you know, flow organically is a really important one. It can be, like I just said, less is more. Just because this one's got just a little bit of detail, you might want to do something where it's got a bit more detail. You may want to do something where it sort of, you know, splays out and does like a fan effect. There's lots of different ways to do it. But for me, for this one, nice and simple, but it allows you to have a front and back design, and it's not covering up any of that beautiful stone. So I hope that helps. I hope it gives you some ideas and inspiration. Obviously, if you've got any comments or feedback, or you've got any questions, please feel free to pop them in the comments. I really love to have chats with you. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed. If you haven't, then by all means, please feel free to hit the subscribe button below the video. We do weekly tutorials on a Sunday, and we do shorts, or I do shorts every day, more or less. And also, just a little heads up, by the way, this isn't in the plan. I might be doing a couple of lives coming up. So let me know in the comments if that would be something you'd like. But yeah, there you go. Another tutorial, slightly different design. Simple. Keep the frame the same, change the design, and then as you get more confident with what you're doing, you can change the frame and do all sorts of different things. So have a wonderful Sunday evening, or whenever you're watching this. Don't forget to like and subscribe, pop your comments in down below, and I will speak to you all soon. Take care, much love, bye.